Hey y'all, it's your girl A Rich Book, and we are back with another episode of For the Love of Millennials podcast. And today, y'all, okay, hold on, wait.
Knock it off.
Okay, we got Sir Poobie in here, and I'm so excited because just a dope soul, and you guys know that I want to bring you quality content, quality people to share their story. It's about them sharing their story, and there's a reciprocity of empowerment. When you hear Poobie's voice, when you hear my voice, I want you guys to walk away from each episode feeling like you can take over the world. So,
that intro was crazy. That intro was just crazy.
It was crazy.
Okay.
Crazy. No, it wasn't supposed to be like
crazy. That was crazy.
I mean, it's true. Is it not true?
I'm appreciative though.
But
I'm appreciative. I appreciate it. Yeah,
every time. Okay, so like me and Poobie conversation always be like, "Yo, I appreciate you. Oh, thank you. I appreciate you. Thank you." Be like, "I'm humble. Oh, I'm humble too." Word. I'm like, chill. We can't both be humble. You go back in your ego.
Word, word.
So I typically don't read people's bios when they're on a platform, and I like for them to introduce themselves in an informal way because anybody can Google you, right? Mm-hmm. He's Googleable, just so y'all know.
You're gonna be mad though, because my bio read is not gonna be, you know what I mean? You're gonna have to fill that some blanks for me.
All right, tell us what you want us to know.
Okay. My name is Poobie Chapman. I'm from Raleigh, North Carolina. I'm a black male. No. Boom.
What?
That's it, yo. That's it. That's all I want people to know. That's all I want people to know. Everything else.
You are mysterious though.
Come on, man.
You just flow into places and then you just disappear. And
it's
like, yo, who is that guy?
Don't believe the hype though. That's it. Don't believe the hype. That's it.
What's the hype?
The hype is it's a Poobie. I'm like a myth. And don't believe that. Don't believe that. I'm somebody. I feel like everybody is somebody that you gotta experience. Mm. You know what I mean? So when you come in a room or when you meet somebody, you already got like a little ooh, but it's like, yo, you gotta experience that person. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah. Whether it be an unpleasant experience or like a pleasant experience, like regardless, you just go in there and you gotta experience it. Then when you leave, then you know, like, all right, that dude is that like that, or that female is like that.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, so when you first met me, what was your experience? What was that like? Was it like, yo, look at this girl?
You exude like positivity, like you exude like strength, for real. Like you exude that. It's like not even knowing you, I'm like, okay, nah, like I gotta step my mood up. Like,
chill out.
I gotta step my, you know what I mean? I gotta step it up for real. Gotta get So that's what our first conversation. I'm like, yeah, I can talk to her forever. Like I can talk to her because you know what I mean. We exchange. Yeah, we exchange. We exchange for sure.
Man, you so dope. See, this why.
Here we go.
Oh no. Okay. I told him I was going to gas him up. Look at me, y'all. I'm like, I got
cat. She cat.
So why I really appreciate Poobie is because he is so down to earth. Like when you have that myth around you, like people are often scared to like approach you. Yeah. They're scared to like say hello. Or they have like these unrealistic expectations that you didn't agree to.
Right.
And so like one of my big brothers, he was just like, you know, our problem in society is that we have expectations of people that they don't agree to or that they've never even heard. Yeah. And so it causes us the anxiety, the stress, all the other things that we've never considered, right? So how do you deal with those expectations that you never agreed to?
For me, I didn't used to like it. I used to be like, I'm not responsible, whatever. But like, it's the Spider-Man quote, like, with great power comes great responsibility. Like, and that's legit. I understand when people say like, I ain't nobody role model, I don't do, but it's like, you know, you got that power. You know what I'm saying? You might as well have that responsibility to kind of, even if it's some stuff that you want to do, that you know might not be good for whoever's watching, whoever's listening. You got to bite that bullet. You know what I mean? You got to make the decision that 2-3 years down the road, are you going to look back at this tweet, at this post, at this blow up in this situation and be like, yo, I was tripping. You know what I'm saying? So for me, I think a long time ago, I made that decision of like, I wanted to do a certain thing because where I'm from, who I grew up with, where I grew up, the stuff that was going on, like, that's what it was, you know what I'm saying? So I had to make a conscious decision to not go that route.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? The easy route, not even the easy, but the most comfortable route was to do, what's the word I want to say?
Was what everybody else was doing?
Yeah, but it looked good. You know what I'm saying? It was sexy. You know what I'm saying? To like be disrespectful, to not abide by certain codes when it comes to like relationships and friendships and just exchanges with people. You know what I'm saying? So like I had to learn that like on the fly.
Like nobody taught it.
Trial and error. Like, dad, that was crazy. I shouldn't have did that. You know what I'm saying? Or like just trying to understand people better. So I think with that, like, that's how I'm able to kind of move in different rooms. Yeah. And kind of give respect, I guess.
Dang. Yeah. See, y'all see what I be like.
Nah. It's weird though because like I exist in so many different like spaces. Yeah. That like if you meet basketball, like you met me when I was a pro or like, you know what I'm saying, basketball 24/7, then you would have seen a different me, business wise, like, but it's still the same guy. Right. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. It's weird. It's weird. I'm still trying to figure it out.
It's not though. Like, and I totally relate. So like when I'm in corporate, I'm like, hey guys, it's Amber here. This is how we're navigating. Right. And then when I'm back home, I'm like, yo, chill the fuck out, y'all wilding right now. Right. That code switch, right? But at the same time, the same people in any of those areas and facets, I'm consistent across the board. Yeah, like the same Amber you have on LinkedIn is the same A Rich book on Instagram. It just happened. I might drop a couple of F-bombs on Instagram versus LinkedIn. You know what I'm saying? So I definitely appreciate you sharing that. And a lot of what I'm hearing from you is mindfulness. So talk to us about mindfulness because you're very thoughtful and your answers are thoughtful and it tells me like you think a lot.
Yeah, I do. But I think it's because like I taught myself how to play chess and like that's a perfect answer for a podcast. But like I really did it because like it's so easy now to get caught in like the quick decision of like this right here give me a quick dollar, this right here give me this shorty, this right here give me whatever. But like having to stay down of like it don't look good right now, it don't feel good right now, but like how do I feel like down the road it's gonna pay off. You know what I'm saying? Right. So I think that type of I'm not good at chess at all, but like I know
you understand the strategy.
You feel me? You know what I'm saying? It sounds good.
It's a strategy.
You know what I'm saying? So I think just that's a trial and error thing for me as well. Yeah. Like, I gotta lose a little bit. You gotta kind of jump out there. And I seen a tweet. Joe Budden was like, would you rather get 50K or go to dinner with Jay-Z? You know what I'm saying? 50K me for sure. Like, give me 50K, let me make my own mistakes. We'll figure it out. You know what I'm saying? Just cause like, let me make my own mistakes.
That's a tough question. Okay, so you said you would take the 50K.
Let me make my own mistakes.
Okay.
Let me make my own mistakes.
Ooh.
I would hate.
You want to trailblaze for yourself.
Nah, cause like, to me, even if I go to dinner with Jay, and like, or I go to dinner with somebody that's like great, and they give me the plan, they give me the blueprint, and I follow the blueprint, and I'm successful. Yeah. I don't think I would like it. You know what I'm saying? Like I would be up there, and like I wouldn't have anything to show for it. You know what I mean? I wouldn't be able to give somebody else my blueprint. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like I wouldn't be able to tell them, like, bro, I did this. Like, give me my 50K, let me make my own mistakes. It might end up being 20K or 5K, but I got experience to show this young dude that look up to me, you know what I'm saying? Or that show this person that's like, I want to make my own mistakes. Let me get out here and do it, you know what I mean?
Yo, I just took so much from that. You don't even understand. Because a lot of us would choose dinner with Jay-Z. Sure. Like, I'm like, yo, I'm about to sit down with my own. Keep about to put me on game. Like, yo, that's priceless. You can't, but not to think about it. Like, it was just like, yo, I can trailblaze. Yeah. Not even thinking about what he's done for other people, but it was like what you can do and will do for other people in the long run, right? Your legacy.
No matter what it is.
Create my legacy.
Yeah, no matter, even if I fuck off the whole 50K, it's like, dang, that was ass. But like now if somebody else get this same whatever, I can give them something. Yeah. I really can't give nobody nothing if somebody's giving me everything. You know what I'm saying? So like that's how I feel. You crazy.
You
crazy.
I'm trying to tell y'all. Cause I'm trying to tell y'all.
You crazy.
I ain't said nothing. You set it up. You set it up.
Oh, yeah.
So what was one? Because you talked about losses. You talked about failures.
Mm-hmm.
What was a failure or a loss for you that you've overcome but contributed to your success?
Honestly, it's just what we talked about. Like I took it. It sounds crazy, but like I took advice from somebody when like I felt like I knew better.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So like I was like, damn, maybe I should do this. And then somebody else gave me some advice that made more sense at the time in terms of like, this might be it. You know what I mean? Like, oh yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. Logically, it makes sense, but like my instincts is saying otherwise.
Yeah.
And I chose the logic over the instincts, and that was a loss for me.
Mm.
I feel like I don't want to say a failure, but I'd say a loss for me. You know what I'm saying? Not trusting my instincts on like knowing like, man, if I jump out there, I know I can make it happen. Yeah. Regardless. But it's like, all right, logically, this right here makes sense. Like I know I'm not gonna lose here, but I lost because I didn't gain that experience.
That's crazy. You are. I don't know if y'all are picking up these gems that Poobie is dropping because he's smooth with it. Like he's smooth just telling you trust yourself. He's smooth telling you to be mindful. He's smooth telling you like don't just think about right now. Think about what's next. Think about later. Think about your legacy. Like you smooth just dropping gems, and I like how you just smooth like oh just be mindful. Oh trust yourself because a lot of us like for real. I'm like yo. I don't know how many times. I think this is the first time in my life that I'm really not asking people what you think, what's your thoughts, what's your thoughts. And I put up a post the other day, and underneath in my caption, I'm just like, I no longer accept the version of Amber that y'all have in y'all heads. All these expectations that I didn't agree to. Yeah. Fuck it. I don't want it. I'm not doing it. That was the first time. And when I say it was so like liberating and it was just like wow what do I want to do right if I don't want like even today I was not supposed to be doing anything but I called it was in my heart right so I'm like all right let me call this friend let me check on this friend see how this friend is doing and when I called this friend needed help so I'm like okay what can I do to help and so there was something that I could do and I started to do it and then they're like oh nah don't worry about it because I'm like I got something to do by this time but this is how I can help in that capacity. The past Amber would fuck this responsibility that I got going on, that I agreed to. Let me drop all of my stuff so I can go make sure that you got what you need and that you're happy, you're calm, you're at peace, and you're good. But this time, I'm just like, look, I'm offering my help. This is how I can help. If this is not the help that you want from me, like, I'll call you and check back on you. But normally, had I done that, right, I would be feeling guilty. Like, I would be sitting here right now with you, and I would just be like, yeah, so Poobie, what do you want to talk about? Right. Okay, yeah. All right, next question, Poobie. Like, I wouldn't be able to focus because I would be so paralyzed by letting someone down. And not,
I think that's a form of survivor's remorse. So, like, when you're able to, like cipher through or get your problems out of the way, or for a fact, like I'm gonna be able to get it done. You have a sense of survivor's remorse because like, hey, this person needs me. Like, I feel it's like, dang, I done made it out. I think that's how I feel about it. You know what I'm saying? So like, for you to be able to shake that and grow about it, you aware, like that that's a thing. It's not you're not perfect with it, but that that's something that you got to work on and continue to work on. That's dope, though. That's big. That's big. Nah, that's big. That's big. Nah, you just dropped the gem. That's big. That's big for sure.
But growth, you talked about growth. What is one thing that you think we as a millennial community and then maybe some Gen Xers or some Gen Zers who may tune in that we should focus on? What's one thing that you think we should focus on?
It's a good question. You about to make me try to dig in there off the top of my head. Now I got you. Okay, I feel like if I had to give one answer, my answer would be to understand that we all live in our own world. You know what I'm saying? Like literally, we all live in our own world. So I'll explain that by saying we can both witness a car crash. You know what I'm saying? Like literally the same car crash, but like your experiences contribute to maybe you've been in a car crash before and you know like that. I think that person's foot got stuck on the gas. But like I seen the same car crash and I never experienced that, so I wouldn't even use that as perspective. You know what I'm saying? So it's like even with relationships now, that goes together. Like if you if you're gonna be in a relationship with somebody, you gotta completely understand that that person is in their own world. You know what I'm saying? So like in a relationship, you have to. It's a union, so you gotta join two worlds. Some stuff gonna have to give, some stuff. You know what I mean? But I think with understanding. Let me say this. With understanding, you got to understand that everybody's in their own world. So we can't take things personal. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's like when something happened and you like, oh, this dude, man. It's like, yo, that person did what they felt they needed to do. So you can either do the same thing for you, you can communicate it, but we all live in our own world. We all see stuff that's different. You know what I'm saying? We all feel things differently. So that understanding is like, I think when you meet a person with a high level of understanding, it kind of forces you to like step out of your box and be like, dang, you know what I'm saying? Like, I need to get right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I think that's what happens with us all the time. You said it at the beginning. I feel like that's what happened with us. Like, for real. Like, just now I was late. You know what I'm saying? I understand, like, yo, that's crazy. Like, I'm late. Like, you know what I mean? Who's to say you ain't have nothing to do with? We had to start right at the time. You know what I mean? So I wanted to apologize. And you said the same thing. Like, yo, you straight. You could have been such and such, such and such. But like that level of like, yo, we live in our own worlds, it takes away from so much conflict.
Yeah.
Like we can meet halfway, we can understand that, you know what I mean? That's how I feel. That's
like,
what I think.
So what Poobie just explained was the logic behind namaste, right? Everybody like namaste. The light in me recognizes the light in you.
Facts.
The love in me recognizes the love in you. And that's why like when people, I think I put this in my story before, I'm like, the people who slide in my DMs or like the women, the men, whoever like compliments me like, oh, you did so good or you're beautiful or you're this, I'm always like, thank you. I'm just your reflection. And to the people that's like, bro, you ugly. Like, I'm like, thank you. I'm your reflection.
Word.
Because that's what it is. Some of y'all watching this and be like, she not even that cute. Thank you. I'm your reflection. But it's true. Like, and then honoring that we're in our own world. And honestly, right, that's how I'm raising my daughters, right? Mm-hmm. I'm raising them to understand that they have their own world. And I'm just nurturing them into their own world. Yep. So we have discussions, right? Yep. We have conversations. Mommy apologizes. Mommy asks questions. Right. What did you mean by that? Did you hear me when I said this? Okay, what did you understand by what I said?
I've never said this out loud. I was coaching and I forgot what I had said, but one of my best players, I was on him, I was riding him, I was going. So after practice, I was talking to my son, and I was like, yeah, man, I'm gonna say his name actually. I was like, yo, Tashad was getting on my nerves today. Like, you know what I'm saying? He was being a bad teammate, such. And my son, he was 4 at the time. He's like, yeah, but did you understand, Daddy? I'm like, dang, man, like, yeah, you're right, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? Maybe he had something going on. Because it's like, I can't say to you, you know, whatever it is, for him to say that, like, yo, did you understand though? Yeah. And I'm like, dang, like, I don't even know if he all the way understood what he actually did in that moment, but like, that's something
and
right
they
there.
Really don't. Yeah. Like, children, like, when I tell you they make you check yourself, you think about things, like, so I was like, oh, am I gonna give my oldest daughter her own room? I'm like, nah, she's only 6, she don't get her own room. What? I own all these rooms. Like, nah, you share with your sisters. Yeah. And so then I was talking to a friend of mine. I'm like, the way that I grew up, I realized that in that moment, in that experience, I was like parenting from shit that was passed down, right? In the sense of we control situation. You a child in my house, you ain't got no privacy, you ain't got no this, you ain't got. Nah, I'm like, yo, she needs space to develop. Mm-hmm. Like, there's a gap between her and her sisters. And while they could all share the room, like, as girls because they're sisters, I'm like, dang, had my life, you know, I thought about it, right? I was like, well, my mom couldn't afford a house where I could have my own room, right? So what if she could? Would I have had my own room? Yeah. Right? Would I have had this experience and opportunity to develop? Mm-hmm. Whoa, well, I got more. Now I can afford this. Oh, you can have your own room. You can have this space to develop. So even if you're not a parent, right? It's just about that mindfulness, that thoughtfulness, and thinking and being intentional. We're going to talk about intention, right? Because He a guru, y'all.
Nah, cat.
He a sage.
Cat. Y'all know
You don't know what to say. SAGE, not the herb person. But no, like just being mindful, trusting yourself, and understanding that when you're in your world. I remember when I was hanging out with my mom and sister, and I'm sitting there with them just like this, and my sister was like telling my mom like Amber is not focused on what we watching. And my mom was like, Amber be in her own world.
Word.
She could be sitting right next to you and she's in her own world. And I'm like, look, I had to explain, I'm like, look, you cannot take it personal. Like, I really am in my own world. I will vibe by myself.
Word,
like Poobie.
Yeah.
Like, people be like, oh, what you doing? I'm hanging out. Oh, who you with? I'm with myself. Like, what you doing? I'm hanging out, chilling.
Yeah.
Who you chilling with? Myself.
Word though. Word. That's fine.
So I want to jump to intention.
Okay.
Because I know you know what intention means.
Mm-hmm.
What does intention mean?
To me, I don't want to say so much intention. I want to say I do a lot. I'm really, really deliberate. You know what I mean? So like, who I say what to, what I say, what I look like, what I wear, what I listen, what I watch, what I read, all of that is like, all of that is important to me because I feel like nothing is wasteful. You know what I mean? Like I feel like I hear a lot of people say like it ain't enough hours in the day, it ain't enough time and such and such and that. But I feel like we're really, really wasteful. You know what I mean? And that comes from me too, though. You know what I mean? I'm still as locked in as you say I am. I'm still wasteful. You know what I'm saying? I'm still find myself scrolling more than I need to be scrolling, but I try to be really, really deliberate. I try to be really, really intentional in terms of how I get my message across, who I get it across to, what I'm saying, because I think even if we live to be 120 years old, it's the year 2020, so 100 and whatever is like that. You know what I'm saying? So like any time that we have here, it needs to be directed towards exactly what we want our message to be.
Right.
Or exactly towards we want our energy to be.
Right.
So I try to be, especially now, a lot more deliberate in all of that. Yeah. Honestly. Yeah.
That's wild. Like, yo, you keep stumping me. Like, yo,
nah.
That's crazy. So you gonna tell us you wrote that book?
No. That's just a little thought book right there. That ain't even that for real. I wanted to ask you, no, just because you said something.
All right.
Look, she said something dope, so I wanted to expand on that. So like, I know now, and this, watch her face. I ain't even gonna look at her face. Watch her face when I say this. So like, with parenting and parents, now that we're in that age bracket of 25 to 30 or 25 to 32 or whatever, how do you feel parenting is going to affect, or how do you feel parenting affects that space of like, all right, you 25, you 30, you don't got no stable job. Like, oh, you want to be a YouTuber? Nah. Or you want to do this, you need to get you a job. You know what I'm saying? In terms of like, it's a new era of young adult, or it's a new era of adulthood. How do you stay sane and like chasing your dreams or creating new dreams, as opposed to back in the day when our parents had to have a 9-to-5 to have a crib?
Damn, Poobie.
Come on, I knew it. I already knew it.
This is not like,
I already knew it.
I'm trying to come on your show. You could have asked me that when I came on your
I got
platform.
some other stuff.
Okay, so, damn, that's loaded. So I'm not talking to children. I'm talking to us, right?
Yes.
All right, so I'm going to speak to the children in us, right?
There we go.
And I'm speaking to the children in us because what we're seeing around us is not new. This entrepreneurial boom, this ownership boom is not new. These are the thoughts that we had as youth. I don't know about y'all, but I was thinking of shit that I was going to own when I was 8 years old. I planned on being a DJ. Now I got a podcast. Didn't realize like, oh, that's a manifestation, right? And then my mom was like, what do you mean? How you going to do all of this? And to this day, she was like, yo, you remember that time you said you were going to be a millionaire by the time you was 15? And I was like, in my head, how many times our parents don't really support us, right? They hear us, but in their mind, right, because of their own experiences, that they can't,
That's it,
you know,
that's it.
they can't conceive it, or they can't understand it.
That's it.
And so the first thing that I would say to us to break that mold and to break that mindset is to forgive our parents, right?
That's perfect.
And understand that they were raising us from their own understanding of life, their own trauma and things that they needed to heal from. After you get through the healing aspect, like, of your relationship with your parents, like, even now, right, setting those boundaries and putting them in place and not accepting, right, the expectations that they put on you. Like, now, I used to feel guilty if I missed one of my parents' phone calls, but now I'm just like, look, I'm busy. So I was telling somebody, my mom she came to visit, and she was like, yeah, I'm trying to go over to Raleigh or Nightdale. I was like, I'm not driving that far. Like, it's just not happening. She was like, oh, well, I'm going to just take your car. And I'm like, no, you're not. She was like, but you got two. Yeah, and they both mine, and I both pay for them. Well, can I use your car? I'm like, you got that car money? Oh. And she's like, really? But that's like how our parents, like, how many of our parents, like, oh, Mom, can we have McDonald's? You got McDonald's money? Like, you want that toy? You got that toy money? Like, yo. And then sometimes, even now, like, as parents, sometimes when I'm talking to my daughters, my sister's on the phone, she's like, you know who you sound like? I'm like, damn, I sound like my dad right now. I gotta chill out. So first, speaking to our inner child and freeing us, right? Mm-hmm. Freeing ourselves and saying that childlike mindset, the things that we dreamed as children, is possible, right? Yeah. It's definitely possible. And then not to limit yourself, because sometimes, you know, people shame 9-to-5ers, then people shame entrepreneurs, people shame investors. Me, I'm just looking for freedom, right? And so you got to find, what does freedom look like for you? What does success look like for you? Because what's success for me may not be success for you or Poobie or the next person, right? And so just finding out, finding out what empowers you, like what drives you, what makes you feel fulfilled. And so all my friends that don't have children, I'm like, yo, when they start complaining to me, I'll be like, isn't it nice to complain and not have to think about anybody else that's being impacted by you complaining right now? Because me, I can't complain. Why? Because if I complain, I mean, I can't complain, right? But then that energy is going to go into my parenting, it's going to go into my children, and it's going to infect them, right? It's going to affect them, it's going to impact them. And my goal as a parent is to provide a childhood that my kids don't have to heal from. So what am I going to do for my children, right? I plan to set them up for the future. So all three of them, what they get a business and a rental property when they turn 18. That's why I'm working hard now. That's why I'm grinding hard now. You know what I'm saying? And that's how we have to think. We have to think legacy. And when we think legacy, we think mindfulness, right? We think with intention and deliberation. And that's how we move. So that was a long-winded answer.
Nah, that was crazy. That was crazy. If I could piggyback, or if I could just drop one thing to kind of like solidify, or like, that was perfect. And matter of fact, that was perfect.
Chill out, no, what you gonna say?
That was perfect. I ain't even gonna go.
First of all, this
that was crazy.
How he turned this into an interview?
Like, it's a
conversation. It's a vibe.
You know what I mean?
Okay.
Nah, but I agree though. I feel it's same as that. I knew you was gonna go crazy on that because I already knew. But for me, it's just, I think we battling our parents a lot. And we feeling like our parents aren't, like you said, they aren't supporting us. They shitting on our dreams.
They don't know how.
But it doesn't make sense to them.
Let me tell y'all, the things that I'm doing now, and my dad listens to my podcast, my mom listens to my podcast. My dad was like, damn, I didn't know you cursed like that. I'm like, well, damn, I got it from you. like what you talking about? But realizing that if I were to say, oh, I'm leaving my job by December 2021, you know what they would say to me? Why would you do that? You have your girls to think about. That's a secure paycheck. That's this, that's that. But to me, in my mind, it's limiting. And I find that, like my daughter, she was just like, oh, I like glitter and I like this. And so instead of saying, oh, can we go to Claire's and buy this? She's like, yeah, can I have a store? Let's call it Emily's Glam Shop. Can we get... So she's like, I just want to own this shit.
I ain't trying to
like,
go there.
I'm not trying to go there. I'm trying to
yeah.
own my own shop.
Yeah.
Versus to, and then like my mom, like seeing the things, she's like, well, how can I navigate this? Okay, Mom, now your parents, when you forgive your parents and you allow space for healing, it's not to say you want to be all chummy with your parents. That's not what reconciliation is, right? You have that choice. And what does that look like for you? Because even though you forgive and you understand too, your parents still have the responsibility to heal themselves and heal their inner child and heal all the other traumas and stuff that they both got going on. And I'm just putting my parents' business out there.
Nah,
they both
that's every parent though. Everybody's in their own world. So that speaks to that of like, I think now that we're older, we see how damaged everybody is.
Yes.
So like we see our favorite uncle, our favorite aunt, our mom, our dad. Yes. We see now that we're adults, we like, dang, yo.
Yes.
Like they did a good job considering
what they had going on.
But yeah, I agree with that.
And it's true.
Fine. Yeah.
I just learned I wrote like this dope ass Father's Day post for my dad, and he got super emotional, but it wasn't even like, it was about him, but it was also about my healing, right? And so I went through where I had no respect for men at all. And my dad was there. Right. I'm just like, yo, if my dad don't even talk to me like that, you ain't even talk to me like that. Like, that was me, dead ass. Yeah. But then realizing, like, healing my own trauma, right? And then thinking about it. When my parents got married, they were 22 or 21 and 24. I'm 28. I still am trying to figure shit out. When my mom had me, she was 28. I ask people all the time. People be like, yo, Rich Book, you a super mom. Like, you I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just trying to do it. I'm just trying to navigate it. But then that's what helps you to forgive your parents, right? And navigate those relationships, because you realize, like, damn, at 21, I ain't know shit. But y'all out here getting married. So for my parents, them seeing me, right? I got married early. I had children early. And I got divorced. My parents got married early, had 3 children early, and got divorced. So when they see me, they like, oh, damn. Like, she reliving our lives. And so they looking at me like, oh, she gonna be a single mom forever. She never gonna get married. No. I'm dating with intention. Like, I know what I want, and I plan to do that. But I'm also building an empire. So you got to start thinking about different things when it comes to your parents, right? And what does that look like? And not accepting them projecting their experiences onto you. Like, that happened to you. I'm sorry that happened to you, but I'm not agreeing with that.
Yeah.
Like, I don't accept that for my life.
Yeah.
So. Why you always gotta start something?
You know what I mean? I'm just saying, I'm just saying. You thought we was going to be talking about me playing basketball.
Oh, well.
But no. We're talking about, you know what I mean?
Life, for the love of millennials. Anything that moves us forward. Y'all know, like, wow, you are going to talk about being ball is life because you're a poopy. But still.
Yeah, we can, though.
Okay, so ball is life. How long you been playing basketball?
I'm 28. I've been playing basketball since I was like 5 years old.
Dang.
Yeah, I played my first basketball game with referees when I was 5 years old. So yeah, it's been a long time.
And now you're a coach too, right?
Yeah, I coach for Millennial High School. That's the high school that I went to, that I played at for 4 years. And I don't even know how I even came about. I don't know how that came about at all. Like,
it's like, come on, Poobie, come
Nah, for real, the relationship was, I hate to say it, because it sounds cliche, man. But I did, I carried myself somewhat the right way. You know what I'm saying? So when I was there, I never did, I did a lot of the stuff that everybody else did, but, I did it, I guess, a different way or something, you know what I'm saying? So that I didn't have any stain on my name or any stain on my reputation. So I handled myself well when I went there. I played 4 years at North Carolina Central University. Come on now. Don't even get me started.
Okay.
And I played 4 years there. That was probably one of the best experiences of my life. And then I played 4 years overseas. I played half a season in London. I played over in Slovakia. I played a couple years in China, a couple seasons in China. And as I was gone, like even when I was in college and I was coming back home for whatever breaks, I would just use an in-law to work out. So I was a college dude, coming back to my high school, working out with the dudes that I had been playing with. So then when I was, playing pro ball or whatever, or trying to figure it out pro ball wise, I would come back and I would still work out. So through the coaching changes and the athletic director changes, my face was still there. You know what I mean? I was still asking if I could help out, asking, letting them work out with me if they needed to. So I had got a job at a community center with a lot of the kids that went to Enloe. So I had coached them like in the summer league, and the coaching job came about, and they was like, "Yo, you should coach us, bro. Like, bro, coaching, that'd be crazy." I'm like, mind you, I've never coached before in my life. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, nah. Then it's like, yo, dang, I feel like, I ain't gonna say I was at the peak of my career or like the peak of my powers as a basketball player, but I was at the peak of my power. You know what I'm saying? But like, my instincts told me that I had to. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like logically, it didn't make sense. Like logically, I should have kept playing basketball. But for the kids that I know that I represented, that I know might not make the basketball team, not because of their talent, but because of the coaches don't see them. You know what I mean? As basketball players and as young men, they see them more so as an issue. Yeah. So they rather not even have. I'm not about to give you a chance. You know what I'm saying? So I applied. They did a really good job at telling me what they expected, and I'm 2 years in now, so that's crazy. Yeah.
So what do you, based on how you were coached, through your career from 5 to 21, right? What are you doing different as a coach for young people?
I've never been coached in this era. You know what I mean? So like, naturally, there's no way that I can take from a coach because like I've never been before the game like on my phone. You know what I'm saying? I've never had a coach address me in that manner because that wasn't a thing. So I have to learn on the fly of like, naturally I'm like, bro, put your phone away. We got a game. Yeah. But then it's like, yo, does that help them focus? I don't know. You know what I mean? And I'm all for like, I want whoever I come in contact with, I want them to be better than when I found them or when I came into their presence. So it's like, when I'm not here, are you able to conduct yourself or carry yourself the right way? It's like, I'm gonna give you a chance. So like, if you feel like you need to use your phone, cool. But if you let egg, if you stink it up, no phones, my nigga. Like, so I think that's more so me. I think I give a lot of like freedom in terms of like, I'm gonna allow you to do some stuff. You know what I mean? But I think I've learned so much in these 2 years that like the more freedom that I give them, it's like the less that they want, the less freedom they want. They rather you know what I mean? They taking that space up of like, yo, y'all can have y'all phones. And then I walk out and I hear them like, yo, let's just put our phones up. You know what I mean? As opposed to me being like, no phones. And they're like, let's just, it's more so like, yo, y'all do y'all thing. This is what I need from y'all. And then they make the decision themselves to be like, hey, let's just lock in. You know what I'm saying? So I think that it's just on the fly. You know what I mean? My coach in college, Lavelle Moulton, is the best coach ever in the world. That's my dog. But like, he doesn't. A lot of people are like, yeah, he be giving you tips. He won't give me no tips. Like, he's like, yo, if you need me, if you fall, I'm here. He was like, yo, but you got to figure it out. Like, I trust you. You got to go get it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. He did that to me as a player. So I think he's doing the same thing to me as a coach and as a young man, for real.
That's what's up. Yeah. So as we begin transitioning, are there any topics like top of mind that you want to share with Melanin and Rich Millennials?
It's a black business boom right now. Like, support black businesses. That's the wave and I love it. But I think so much now we move past that wave of it. We know that, like, we understand support black businesses, yes. So now we have to challenge these black businesses in terms of, I have one as well. What are we doing as a black business in terms of our community? Are we doing some initiatives? Are we hiring these young black people? Are we recycling that dollar in terms of like what are we doing with it? You know what I mean? We supporting y'all, cool. Now are y'all, like, we gotta circulate it. We gotta do something with it. It has to be another phase. Yes. We can't give y'all the bread to support Black businesses and then y'all go to Target and go crazy. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Or we can't do that and then it's like, you know, that's just how I feel. You know what I mean? That's what I wanted to touch on.
No shade.
I mean, yeah.
And if the shoe fit, go ahead and wear it.
Nah, if the shoe fit, then we gotta take that motherfucker off. That's it. Like, you know what I mean? That ain't even no shade. It's just
he gonna help you take
we don't know. You know what I mean? We don't know. We haven't been in this situation before.
We haven't though. We haven't had this much hype around.
You know what I mean? So like if you're a Black business and you getting that money, maybe you haven't even thought like, okay, damn, what can I get back? Yeah,
right, because you go to church, they be like, oh, give your 10%
exactly.
tithes.
You know what I'm saying?
Like I take my 10% and I give it back to other small businesses, right? Yeah. So I'm like, yo, who got small business? I'm like, yo, what's your cash app? Let me cash app you something.
And it's more than money too. You know what I'm saying? Like, like
investing in other people, like for real. So my friend who owns a digital agency, Ken Branson, shout out to him. He did a lot of my photos. Mm-hmm. He, you know, was at home and it was some young kids who were impacted by COVID. They're not in school. So he's like, initially, when you see a group of young black boys, you're like, oh, what y'all about to do? Y'all got to get in trouble. But he opened up his home and let them come in and would cook for them and provide them opportunities. So he put out on Facebook like, oh, I got these young men. They need some work.
That's it.
Community. So I'm like, damn, I got a shed that I need to clean out. I don't feel like lifting all this stuff.
Exactly.
So I'm like, how would they feel getting paid $10 an hour? I dropped $125 to pay these young men. And so somebody would say, yo, that's a lot. But to me, I was like, this is an investment. Mm-hmm. And then all of them piled up in my truck. And I was like, what y'all want to eat? Yeah. So Ken had brought them spaghetti. So I'm like, I'm about to go, they want Bojangles. He's like, I brought them spaghetti. Yeah. I'm like, but don't nobody want spaghetti. And he's like, because you gave them a choice.
Right.
And I'm like, I did. Because they have to understand that they have choices in life.
Right.
They have opportunities in life. And so one dude, he was just like, oh, he was like, Miss Amber, can I get a chicken sandwich? I didn't even know Bojangles had chicken sandwiches. I was like, they only got biscuits.
Right.
They only got biscuits.
Right.
But to me, it was like an investment. And they were like, oh, can I, one dude was like, oh, Miss Amber, can I play the music on the radio? And I'm like, you want my phone? And then the other boy was like, you never asked a black woman for her phone. And I'm like, no, you never go with a black woman purse. Right. To me, it just gave me life. And it made me smile because now they're understanding not just working for money, but creating opportunities for themselves. And so one of them saw my grass. He was like, Miss Amber, you want me to cut your grass?
Oh, man.
I'm like, no, because I heard you cut grass for $60 and I can't afford $60. I was like, I can give you $20.
Right.
He's like, all right, I'll be back in 2 days. Okay, come back. So those type of experiences, like then the young people in schools who were impacted by COVID, so they missed like their career development. Mm-hmm. I get paid to do career development. I get paid to do personal development. Okay, I'm going to offer this professional development seminar for 4 weeks. For this month, it's free. Come and sign up. I had students from maybe 5 or 6 different HBCUs, all who were able to get internships, all who were able to get opportunities.
If I'd have known this, I'd have sent every little.
I'll do it for you. I got you. I got you. Don't even worry about it. We'll set it up. I got you. I'll do it. Okay, Poobie, how can we stay in touch with you?
You can follow me on Twitter, Instagram at SirPoobie32. On Facebook, I ain't really up there like that, but my mom is up there. Facebook is Poobie Chapman. It's a lot going on. I got a lot of stuff coming up. Please tap in, stay tuned. I appreciate it.
I appreciate you guys. Make sure that you stay tuned with us. Follow us on Instagram at For the Love of Millennials. Follow me at 8 Hours Book. Thank you for tuning in, and we're out.
Peace.